to attendees that missed attending today. So just a brief intro for Control Store and how we fit into the Controlli distribution channel. Control Store is privileged to be the Isma Controlli sales partner in Australia and New Zealand. Our philosophy has always been to partner with the biggest and best brands, and Isma Controlli is certainly no exception to that philosophy. They are certainly best in breed of their category of control products. The value for Control Store for you as our local Isma Controlli partner comes from our large and always growing local stock holding of Isma products. We always aim to minimise the time delay between when you place your order and when you receive your delivery. And with the success of these webinars, we can see our inquiries growing, as are the number of happy clients who have jumped on board and implemented Isma Controlli solutions, meaning again, we're looking at increasing our stock holding. One of the key value adds of Control Store is that we have our own local technical support team, which has been officially factory trained in the use and application of Isma Controlli products. So being based here in Australia and New Zealand, this means we can provide you with any help you may need, as and when you need it, because we're located in the same time zone. We're also the training organisation for our region. We've organised many hands-on training courses for our webinar participants and existing customers. And that's something that we're interested in doing lots more of going forward. These can be a short form hands-on training course that will allow you to go much deeper into the products and how to apply them. And we can tailor these sessions to suit how many participants you've got and what your organisation is aiming to achieve. The Isma Controlli website has a large online e-learning platform that you can use for your own self-paced learning. As you progress through that platform, it does build towards a certification step. If you were to look on the Control Store website, we have the majority of the Isma Controlli parts loaded on that. So from there, you're able to view product details, compare products, see pricing, and purchase directly via the shopping cart. Now, stay tuned to the end. There might just be a sneaky website deal provided at the end of the presentation. Alternatively, our sales and account managers would love to discuss your specific project requirements or how you think you can benefit from the Isma, incorporating Isma into your next project. So Control Store's contact details are available on all of our socials, our website, and covers both Australia and New Zealand. As some general housekeeping, if we could post any questions you may have in the chat function, that way we can keep the presentation flowing and not get bogged down in questions. We do have Pavel, Adrian, and myself answering questions in the chat as we go. So I've definitely absorbed the focus of the camera for more than I was aiming for. But before I go, I do just want to thank you again for joining us on this Wednesday morning. We do acknowledge that your time is valuable, but the fact that you're spending time with us exploring some of our products means so much to both the teams from Isma and Isma Controlli and Control Store. I'll now hand you over to Adrian, who can introduce himself and the Isma Controlli and start our session on some of these amazing products.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adrian Jastrzębski, and I'm area manager for Australia and Asia and Pacific region. So, yep, could you switch the slide, please? Just a couple of words about Isma Controlli. We are a Polish company based in Poland, and we design and manufacture all the Isma solution devices. So we are and we want to be international provider of intelligent solutions for building. Our solutions are intended to be the best solution, I hope, to save energy and to have amazing control all over the building installation and HVAC, lights, and ventilation systems. Well, on daily basis, we work with internationally all over the world with partners like Control Store to provide the best service for our customers. We combine, to achieve this, we combine our business knowledge of experienced partners with experienced employees in our company, with young people, young engineers. They have crazy and awesome ideas that are implemented in our solution. And I hope you will have the same feeling after today's session. Could you switch it, please? Okay, we are not that old company, but we have lots of successes. We started in 2015 as a global Control 5, and then we grow rapidly to creating the solution, which is with the same brand, which is called Isma from the very beginning. As you can see, quite many achievements right now. And in 2021, we combined and we merged with company Controlli, Italian company Controlli. Now we are known as Isma Controlli. And I don't present you the whole story of Controlli and all of the second leg of our business. We focus today only on our Isma solution products. Could you switch it? So that is our solutions. We have everything what is required for building automation, starting from I/O modules through gateways, standalone controllers for plant control for HVAC installations, up to small and medium BMS system working with supervisor. And we focus today on this part. Of course, we have also comfort management solution for fan coils, for light control panels, and the brand new products that will be covered, I hope, during the next technical session. Yep. Today we will focus on Mac controller, on HDMI panel, and I/O modules. And I think that's all from me. Thank you so much. And Matthew, thank you once more. And Tobiasz, I think stage is yours.
Thank you, Adrian. So yeah, in fact, the stage is mine right now. So Matthew has already introduced me, but I'll repeat myself. Sorry for that. I'm a technical trainer for the Isma Controlli Poland, and I'm providing all sorts of technical training for our partners all over the world. So this time, it is my pleasure to be able to provide this kind of little training to you. Can I be on focus so that you can see my camera? Because I'm not sure. Okay. Maybe I'll also disable my background effects because it's much better like that. Can you, Adrian or Matthew, confirm that you can see my camera clearly, like on the focus?
Yes, your camera, we can see your camera clearly. So we can see on the very bottom of your cable there, a mini module and a couple other controls.
All right. So that's good. That's where we're going to start. So I think Matthew has already mentioned that we are going to start with mini modules. So first section, we are going to actually have three sections. First section is going to be about the integration of mixed and mini modules, how easy it is and how to do it in most efficient way. The second part will be about the features that are unique for the Mac 36. We'll talk about it later. And the third part would be about the HDMI and HMI panels. Okay, so the first part, we are going to start with the I/O modules, which are mini and mix. And we are actually going to start with the Rs485 configuration. Later on, we'll go for the TCP as well. But right now, let's start with the Rs485. So this is our little configuration that I have. This is our controller that we are going to be focusing on today. This is Mach36. And here I have two I/O modules. This is Mix 18, and this is Mini 4i4o. So maybe let's do it like that first. So first of all, before doing any, let's say, integration work in software, we need to prepare our devices for this. So we need to make a strong foundation for that. And the strong foundation, I would say, is a wiring and correct wiring. In an ideal situation, what we want to have is all the devices should be opto-isolated, which reduces the noise and all the distortions that may happen during the communication. But in this use case, Mach36 has an opto-isolation, so that's good. But these two little guys do not have the opto-isolation. So in this case, we have to refer to the standard wiring that we always do in our building applications. So let's take this Mach36, for example. We have our Rs485 here. So this is our Rs485 port, which is a standard one. So what we actually always recommend is to use a shielded cable, right? So this is no-brainer. So we use like that. And then the first twisted pair, the two cables, we use for the plus and minus. And then the second twisted pair, one cable of that twisted pair, we use for the signal ground. So we daisy chain all signal runs together. And at the end, we also connect the shield of the cable at the one side to the ground. So this is our foundation of how to wire the devices. But we also have to remember that we need to use the termination and biasing resistors, right? Because we do not, for sure, we do not want to have reflections at the end of the lines or collapsing of the differential voltage at the Rs485 bus. In the Mach36, we actually have something in store for that. So if you take a look here, we have a little switch with 3 positions. The top position is AND, then we have biased, and then we have none. So we will start with the first up, which is AND. This AND position is used for the use cases like this. So when the Mach36 is on the either end of the Rs485 bus. And in this way, we can apply the termination resistor for the bus. So we have this sorted out. And we also apply the biasing. So basically, we have termination on the one side and biasing for the whole Rs485 bus. Then what we have the second option, which is BIA, which is short for biased. And actually, we need to change our configuration a little bit because we use this dip switch for this configuration when the Mach36 is in the middle. Because in this case, we are not able to provide the termination because we are not on the end of the line. But we can still provide the biasing. So this is our use case. In this case, Mach will provide only the biasing. Also, you have to keep in mind that the biasing cannot be provided by multiple devices here. So if Mach has it, you cannot provide it by any other device or by the resistors manually. And the third one and the last one, this way. Okay, so we have none. And the none is also for this use case when the Mach is in the middle. But the situation is a little different because we know that some other device is giving us and provides us the biasing resistors. So in this way, the Mach is basically not doing anything. It doesn't have termination, it doesn't have biasing. So it's not doing anything. It's just here in the middle, living his best life. Yeah. So I think that's it about the Rs485 introduction, our foundation. Oh, maybe one more thing, because we are going to use the Modbus RTU. And we are going to connect Mach36 with this mini module. We are going to use Modbus RTU. And these modules have two protocols to use. So you can connect either with Modbus RTU or BACnet MSTP. And to change the configuration, or maybe to choose the configuration that you would like to use, we have to take this top cover, which hides the dip switches that you can see here. There is 6 of them. First 3 are responsible for setting the baud rate of the communication. When all the 3 are up, it means that this is the maximum available speed, which is 150 to 100. And the dip switches number 4 and 5 are responsible for protocol selection. So right now I have 4 down and 5 down, which means that it is Modbus RTU. If I would change, for example, like that, the 4th is up, it is right now ready to communicate over BACnet MSTP. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. I need to also take a look at my training case, which I used. And it is also ready for Modbus RTU. Okay, so right now I'm going to switch to my screen. And actually, we will do some practical work right now. So right now I'm going to connect to the Niagara, and I'm going to enable the station in which I'm going to configure and integrate the I/O modules. So as you can see here on the left side, and this is my Mach36, and in the Mach36, I have a running station. So this is my starting point. So first of all, we need to do some classic configuration steps that we always do. We are going to use Modbus RTU. So we need to select correct protocol, which is Modbus async network. So this is Modbus RTU. Yeah, so we have a little configuration ahead of us because there is an error. There is no port selected. So this is standard one. We need to just make sure that we are communicating over the correct speed, which is this one, and the communication port, which is COM1. After that, I should be able to get the OK status, which has happened right now, as you can see. Okay, so I have my network working, and now the next step is to add device. Okay, so this will be my mini for, it is for you, for O. This is the name. The device address is 1. The rest can be as a default. Okay, so I have my network, I have my device. The next step, naturally, is to add points. Normal behavior, normal procedure is to select new, but we need to know what kind of point we want to integrate. So whether it's coil, whether it's input or holding register, you need to know what register is responsible for specific type of data and what type of register and stuff like that. So normally you will just revert your manual, skim through it, and find all the details and all the information, which of course can be time-consuming. That's why we have a special palette for that, which is called Isma Modules here. This palette is helping us with the configuration and integration of our Isma Modules range. Actually, if you would like to find those modules, you can always go to our support page, which is here. support Isma Controlli.com, where you can find all the information, all the necessary information, whether it's documentation manual, data sheets, or whether it's just a software that you need. For example, here we have our software tools, Niagara section, and there is an Isma Modules jar. So this is the jar that I'm actually using. So we can download this, copy, and paste it onto your Niagara location, and you are free and ready to use them. Okay, so let's go back here. So I'm in the points. Okay, so all you have to do is to know what kind of protocol you are using. So you're using Modbus Async. So I'm choosing this one. Then which device you are using. So this is 4U4O. And then this is your choice just to what you want to get, whether it's universal inputs or digital outputs. This is what we have in store for this specific module. Of course, every module has different possibilities. This one, in the universal inputs, we have different types of measurements, of course, as it is for the universal inputs. So for example, if you opt for the resistance, you just need to drag and drop it here, and you have readings right away. If we take a closer look, you can see that all the information, data address, conversion, faces, device faces are already pre-configured for you. So basically all you have to do is to decide what you want to get, drag and drop it here, and voila, you are set. So that's real easy and handy. Okay, so while we are at the Modbus topic, I would like to show you something also Modbus related, maybe not exactly about the integration of the points, but yeah. So first of all, I need to maybe make a brief introduction. So if we have a Mac36, this is maybe introduction will be more about BACnet, but then you will get the reference, because in the BACnet, the Mac36 has a routing enabled. So if you have devices connected to the Rs485 bus over the BACnet MSTP, and you discover the IP device, you discover the Mac, you also have access to all the modules which are connected to the Rs485. What we did for the Modbus is called Modbus Tunnel, which has similar functionality. So this Modbus Tunnel is allowing you to connect to the Mac36 through the TCP, and then you can also see the devices which are connected through the Modbus RTU. So this is discuss this Modbus gateway, sort of. And to show you how to do this, I will just open a little next piece of software, which is called Isma Configurator, where I can discover Isma devices. So this is on my PC. In the Modbus TCP section, I can discover Modbus TCP modules. So this is the range in which my Mac36 should live. Okay, but before that, of course, I forgot to do something because I did not prepare this. So first of all, I need to do some configuration because, of course, there is something which is called Isma Modbus Tunnel. So this Isma Modbus Tunnel needs to live in the correct space, which is a service space. So we drag it here. And in the Isma Modbus Tunnel, we need to do some configuration, or we don't even have to do anything because it is correct. So we can leave it as default. And right now, Mac should be ready to provide this functionality of Modbus tunneling. So right now, let's go back to the Isma configurator and discover the Modbus TCP modules. Okay, right now I have found one device, which is Isma Modbus Tunnel IP. This is my Mac36, and right now I can go here and discover gateway devices. I even found 3 of them. So this is the module that I was expected to find. And I also got 2 additional FCUs, which are also connected to my Mac36. So this way, through the Modbus TCP, I have access to all the devices over the Modbus RTU. And I can have an online look at what is happening in the module, for example. All right. So this was Modbus RTU, Modbus Tunnel, and right now let's see how easy it is to switch back to the BACnet MSTP. So if you remember, just a few seconds ago, a few minutes or maybe, I showed you that we need to make a deep switch change in order to be able to switch from one protocol to another. So right now I will just change deep switch number 4 to the apt position in my training case. So I did just that. And now I can prepare the BACnet communication. So of course we need to do some dirty work and prepare our configuration of the BACnet. It should take just a while. First of all, I need to assign correct object ID, and also I need to add a new network port, which is the MSTP port, in order to be able to connect to the MSTP devices. So here I need to assign the unique network number, which can be 2, and I also need to type correct data here, which is 150-200 and COM1. Also, I need to enable the port. Cannot open. Okay, I have one issue because I'm already using this port with the Modbus Isma Modbus Tunnel. So, okay, once again, maybe like that. Okay, right now it is okay. So the status of the driver is okay, and I can go back to the BACnet. Right now, I'm ready to discover the devices. The network is 2, which is the BACnet MSTP network. The discovery process is ongoing, so I'm expecting to see. Yeah, this is my device. As you can see, it is perfectly ready to use. I can just rest its history. I can just drag it to the database, go to the points. Of course, it supports discovery process as well. I have points and I can use them right away. So it's pretty straightforward, as you can see. Of course, okay, so this was about the Rs485. Now, second part of this first section, which is about the mix IP modules. So we also support BACnet IP and Modbus TCP. Before we go to this section, I will also talk a little bit about the modules itself, because right now the configuration it will look like that we have connection between Mac36 and Mix18 through the Ethernet interface, through the IP protocol, and then we are going to connect this Rs485 modules here to the Mix18. This way we'll be able to get to this Rs485 protocol, Rs485 module, through the Modbus TCP network. Why? The reason we can do this is that Mix18 IP provides gateway functionality. So this Rs485 of the Mix18 IP is giving us a Modbus TCP gateway. So we can connect to the Mix18 and we can connect multiple devices here to extend our network. You have to keep in mind, this is one catch, that this Rs485 of the Mix18 or any other IP module that we have. This Rs485 is all master only, so it cannot act as a slave. It can only provide the functionality of the gateway. So you have to be aware of that. So this is the introduction about that. And right now, let's just go back to my Niagara. And I will just show you how to make use of it. So right now, I'm going to use the Modbus TCP network. Of course, we have a network, then we can add a new device. First device will be my Mix18, which has a device address 2 and IP address of 192.168.1.153. So this is the device which has the IP Ethernet port. So there is no issues. We can ping it. No worries. Everything's working like a charm. The second device, this Rs485, we can add really similarly. I type the name. This is a mini. I type in the device address, the Modbus device address, which is a way we distinguish the devices. And here I type the IP address of the Mix18. So 153. Yeah, so they are both working. If you would like to add the points, you would just do the same steps as I did for the Modbus RTU modules. I go to the Isma Modules, I find the Modbus TCP. I'm using Mix18. I have all sorts of points which I can use. I select which type of measurement and so on. So take this, for example, drag it here, and I have readings from the points. However, there is one issue with this approach. Right now, here we have two connections, 2 sockets open. So each IP modules here in Niagara, each ISMA IO IP module can have only 4 sockets opened at the same time. So right now there is no issue because number of sockets is 2. But if you can imagine a situation that we have one device and we have like 7 devices connected over the Rs485. It is a situation that can happen without any problem, of course, in a real building. So right now we have 8 sockets opened where the limitation is 4. So what it will cause the communication problems and the major ones. So we would rather not. We would rather avoid this. And to avoid this situation, we need to make a different approach. Instead of using the Modbus TCP, I will use Modbus TCP gateway. The configuration is just a little different because we are not assigning IP address for each device. We are assigning the IP address at the gateway level. So this is assigned only once here. And then when you are adding new devices, for example, Mix, you are just selecting, you're just typing the Modbus address of this device. And the same goes for the second device, which is Mini. Right, so this way, I'm just creating one socket here on the Modbus TCP gateway level. And then I can have much more devices here integrated without having to worry about the sockets opened. So this is the optimal approach when you are using the Modbus TCP gateway in Niagara. One more thing before we finish this section. It's also perfectly fine to use Modbus TCP and BACnet IP at the same time to integrate data from this IP module. So if we go to the BACnet network, of course, we need to first enable the IP port. So here I have my IP port enabled, and now I can go to the BACnet and I can discover the devices. I will just search the network number 1 because 2 is a BACnet MSTP, which I do not want to search. So the discovery process is ongoing. And I have my device. So there is a mix 18 IP. I can use it. I can integrate points without any issues. Okay, so I think that's it for the first section. I think if you have any questions, I'm not sure what's going up in the chat, whether we should make a break or whether should we continue with the next section. Just let me know.
Well, we got a few questions answered from the chat. However, if there are questions, other questions, so maybe they can be asked right now.
Okay.
Tobiasz, I have a question. With all the devices, can they act, all the ISMA devices, like the IP ones, they can act as a Modbus gateway or a BACnet gateway for MSTP?
For a BACnet MSTP, you are asking whether they can act as a BACnet like gateway, right? This is the question.
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay, so this IP modules can only act as a Modbus gateway. So they have not BACnet gateway functionality. This is only Modbus gateway.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think if anyone has a question, or maybe remind about something they would like to ask, you can always go back to the chat and Pavel will happily answer all the questions. Other than that, I think we can proceed to the next section, which will be about the features and the functionalities that we have inside of the Mach36. I'm not sure if you, Pavel, want to add a few words about Mach36 and why it is such a unique device, because, yeah, would you like to add some words? Or should I continue?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tobiasz. So Mach36 Tunnel, as you probably noticed at the beginning with the introduction of Asian, we won this year at HR Expo 2022 the award for the building automation as the most innovative controller. So we are very proud of it, and we won it for the unique functionalities that we have on the Mach controller. Mach control is not just a Niagara controller. It's a platform for small and medium-sized buildings. Whenever you need integration of M-Bus directly to Niagara, we have a dedicated version of Mach with it. We have an HDMI port which can display locally the graphics from the web server. So it is a really cost-effective solution for small and medium-sized buildings, for places where you wouldn't even imagine you can have BMS. Yeah, Tobiasz, thank you very much, and please continue.
Thank you, Pavel. As you know, I think the most about this product, so I would like you to have a small introduction, and thank you for that. So I think I can continue. So I will start with just explaining the modules maybe, which are unique and for the Mach36 and which we use when we are thinking about the MAC36. So first of these modules that we have is related to the name of the product, which is 36, because 36 stands for the number of inputs and outputs on the device. So we have to take care in some way of those inputs and outputs, right? So this is actually taken care of in the driver section, and here right away we have Isma IO network looking at me, so that you don't miss it. It is even taken out of the alphabetical order, so that you know that this is something that's related to the MAC36. So we have this Isma IO network, and this is a network which just designated for integrating the onboard I/O points of the MAC36. So we have to have a network, a device, and then we can add actual points. You can do in two ways. You can either opt for this new button, which presents you with the options with the points, or the second option is to use the Isma IO palette, which is used for the integration of the points on board. So these are the points. I will use the universal input because this is the most detailed one. So if you take the universal input here, the integration comes to the correct address, to just typing the correct address. In the MAC36 we have 16 universal inputs, so you have options from 1 to 16. But if you go for some reason outside of the range, for example 17, you are informed that this is the invalid type, so something is wrong. But if you go inside the range of 16, it is all good. Apart from that, we have some configuration already done for us. So we have a conversion, we have some filtering. You can also, for universal input, select type of the measurement, whether it's voltage, current, or resistance. And basically, that's it. So as you can see, it's not a rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. But something maybe not so clear from this first side are those rotary switches and dip switches, which we have here on the left side. We can also use them. They can act as maybe users' application input of some sort, because what they actually are, the MAC36 also has a top cover, which you can take off, and under this cover you also have a set of dip switches that you can see here, right? So you have two dip switches, two sets of dip switches here, and here, and also have two rotary switches. So this can also act as some kind of user input to your application. And these four components here are actually reading the data from these switches. So rotary switch is actually not reading. There is a fault. Okay, so right now the rotary switch is, for example, reading the position number 9. Each dip switch is reading the binary value of the dip switch, and it's also converting its value to the numeric value. So we can choose two options. So this is all about the Isma IO network. The next thing which we are going to use is Isma Hdmi. The third section, so the next section after this one, is going to focus on this Isma Hdmi. So right now I'm just showing you that this exists and it will be used, but for now it's just like indicator, like a yeah, that it's there. But for now it's okay. We'll go to the next step, maybe to the next topic, which are the graphic palettes. So we have graphical modules which you can use to build your custom graphic. There are two of them. If we go once again to our palette section, we have Isma EC 2D graphics, and we have Isma Graphics. I will start with this first one, Isma EC 2D graphics. So let's find this one and open this one. So here we have components which you can use to build your custom graphics. These are 2D, two-dimensional. What I will suggest, if you would like to start with this module, with this palette, is to start with our support Isma Controlli, and then you can type in the 2D, and it will guide you to this folder, Isma EC 2D graphics. What you can find there is not only the documentation, but also you have a Niagara demo station, which presents you in a nice way the possibilities and the functionalities of this graphic module. So just to show you, I'm actually running this station. If you take a look, it's Isma EC 2D graphics. So this is exactly the same station that we have on our support page. And if you click on the home page, you have a nice overview of this graphical palette. On the left side, you have a navigation bar where you can find different types of components sorted on white and dark background. So if you take a look, you have buttons, you have some kind of equipment. You can edit those and you can use this if you like. You can see how they align together. You can see how they can be connected together and how they work in alignment with some kind of piping and stuff. You have, of course, dark, and you have white background. So you can, you're free to go here, download the station. All the details about the login and the password for the station are inside, so there's no any boundaries that you have to cross for this. Okay, so this is the first one, and let's also investigate the second one. So the Isma Graphics. The Isma Graphics is a little different. The difference comes mainly from the fact that these are the 3D graphics. So if I take a look at the preview, you can see how they are looking together, right? Of course, so you can use them as a singular components and create something out of from scratch, right? But you don't have to always start from scratch, because we would like to help you in any means, by any means necessary. And there, if you take a look, for example, in the equipment, air handling units, you have folder template graphics. So we actually prepared template graphics for all different kinds of equipment. For example, for air handling unit, FCUs, VAV, RTUs, and so on. So if we start with the air handling unit, let's see how we can make a use of it. So in the template graphics, we have 6 types of different air handling units here. We have air handling units with cross heat exchanger, with rotary, and something different. So if you take a look inside, we have canvas pane and we have points. So let's just make a graphic in a few steps. You will see how easy it is. So first of all, let's take the points. I take the points because this folder contains all the points which are used in the graphic. I will name it Air Handling Unit 1. So all the points inside this folder are used in the graphic that we are going to just implement. So we have Air Handling Unit. This is what's actually inside of this folder. So we have some points already pre-configured. And let's create a new view. Okay, let's just call it test graphic. First step here is to delete the default canvas pane. And we take this canvas pane which resides under the template graphics. So I take it from here, copy, and place it onto the content here on the right side. And poof, that's it. Basically, with those 3 or 4 steps, I am ready, to see my graphic. You can, of course, if you are happy with the outlook of this, it's okay. But if you want to adjust something, it's adjustable, and you can play with it. If we go to the view mode, you can see that there are some values in the gray and in the blue. And these colors actually have a meaning because the blue values are editable, so you can force a new values here. So this are some kind of like a set point, for example. So air handling units, it's really simple. I would also like to show you the FCUs because FCU is just a little different. There is slight difference because in the FCUs we have a template for the whole devices, whether it's BACnet or Modbus. You have 4 types of the FCUs that you can implement. And first of all, the device is pre-configured. There are also points from the FCUs, and we have graphic attached. So if we take all those devices from here, we can place them in the BACnet network in the right away in here. So we just have to wait, and we have those 4 devices. If we take a closer look, double click, and we have a view for each device. They have some difference because they have different type of sensor, CO2 humidity, and so on. If you would like to have a closer look at how to build graphics in in Niagara using the Isma Graphics, for example, you can always go to our e-learning platform. There is a set of e-learnings which are available for free. The only requirement for you is to sign up, and then you can, for example, apply for this free e-learnings. For example, installation and working with the templates. You can get more details and put in more work and practice around that. Or if you just want to have more information about that. Okay, so that's it for the second section, actually. So we are one away from finishing. Do you have any questions, or should we continue? Okay, yes.
Just a question. So for Isma controller, the local points can be auto discovered?
Auto discovered, you mean the points in the driver section here?
Yeah, on the Isma network, yes.
As far as I'm concerned, no, but maybe Pavel have some words about
that. The points for the Isma IO network are just for the local IO of Mac controller. So you have 36 IOs that can be drag and dropped, or they can be added with the view, with the new button. But mentioning the mix and mini devices then can be discovered through BACnet network. So no problem at all. But for the Isma IO network, this is just for the local IO on Mac 36 and controller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we must input manually or drag from the Isma modules there.
Yes, if either from selecting a new button or from Isma IO, which is a little different from the Isma modules, because Isma modules is for IO modules, which you integrate the points from, like this one. And the Isma IO is just for the points on the Mach36. So this 36 and nothing more. That's it.
First section there, I just forgot to ask one question. Is so if we use the Modbus TCP gateway network, do we still need to put the Modbus TCP network there, or basically the TCP gateway is doing the job of the TCP network? For example, for the mix 18 just now, so it can be, the points can be put, or the device can be discovered or put in the TCP gateway network only.
Yeah, so if you use a mix device as a gateway, you can use it one gateway device, so one IP device for all the devices that are connected through the Rs485 on this mix. So it will discover you all the Rs485 devices, and this IP device can be added as well.
Okay, so we can just use this TCP gateway and just forget that TCP network, in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we can continue and proceed to the next section, which is actually finally going to be an HDMI, which I omitted in the previous section. So before we do any configuration of the devices, I would like to do a few remarks about how to make a graphic for the HDMI panel, because we also have something like this. So Isma, our Mach36, has this HDMI service. And when you build the graphic for this HDMI, you have to be aware of a few things. So HDMI takes a bunch of resources of the CPU when it's working. So if you are intending to create a graphic which is really dynamic, it makes a lot of hyperlinks, goes back and forth here and there, and you are expecting to get like a top-notch speed and no delays. It can be far from this expectation. So we recommend a little different approach, and it is based on the tab panes. So I will just show you how to build such graphics. First of all, let's create a little folder here, which I will call HDMI. So this will be our placeholder for the graphic for the HDMI panel. Let's create a new view and call it HDMI. The same way as before, I will delete this default canvas pane. And from the Isma Graphics, we actually have something prepared for our HDMI panel. It is located in the MISC folder. Under the pane, we have Isma HMI pane. We can copy that and place it onto the content property. What you see here is actually the one PX page, which includes 3 tabs. So what it gives us is possibility to include many tabs in one, many graphic pages in one PX file. What it gives us is that the whole file is loaded when the graphic is displayed, and then when you switch between the tabs, there is no delay, or maybe just a slight delay. So it's much more efficient to use. So this is the recommended way of using the graphic on our HDMI. Okay, so let's just create very simple graphic to show something on the screen. Maybe create like a simple label with the homepage with the home page. Let's make it a little bigger. Actually, let's make it the maximum, 72. Okay, so we have our first. Then we can go to the second, to HU. Then we can do the same trick. We can delete this default canvas pane and use canvas pane from the air handling unit as well. And for the third one, let's, for example, use another one from the VAV. Let's take the canvas pane, copy that, and paste it here onto the content. So we have 3 tabs: Home, AHU, and Settings. Let's also just make a little preparation for our home page, because I would like to have a landing page as this one. And so in order to do that, I need to just quickly create a new navigation file. And this navigation file should point at the HDMI view that I just created. So this is how I do it. HDMI, as you can see, it's okay. And the last step is to just assign this navigation file to the user that I'm logged in as. So this is the admin. And here we have navigation file, something default for this station, but we opt for the navigation file nav. And I would also like to have the handheld HX profile as a default here. Okay, so this is the configuration for the graphic. And right now, let's just also do a configuration for the Isma HDMI, so the actual service. So this is responsible for providing, facilitating the HDMI on our Mac36. Without that, it will not work. So it has to be placed in the services area. That's the first one. Then we go here to the service, and we need to just do a few steps of configuration. First, we want to use for sure the auto login feature, which after the connection to the panel, auto login is providing us automatic login as the user that we indicate here. So admin and the password. Also, we can select after what time the auto login should take place. So for example, we can decrease it from 15 seconds to, for example, 8. Okay, so we have auto login. So this is what we just need to do in the Isma HDMI. The one more thing is in the web service. In order for the HDMI to work, we have to enable the HTTP port. So first step is to disable the HTTPS only, and we need to enable the HTTP port. So these are the steps that we need to make. And right now we need to just hopefully see the result of these actions. So maybe I'll switch to my second camera, which I prepare. Okay, so just a moment, and I will stop sharing my screen right now. I will switch to my camera, and the USB camera should be here. Okay, so this is my second camera. I have my Isma HDMI panel is here, so it looks like this. This is just a display. It doesn't have any like a system inside. It just works as a display, and it has this HDMI port that you can see, hopefully, on the right side here, right? I take this cable, which is coming from the Mac36. It is connected to the HDMI port of the Mac36, and I can connect it to the HDMI, and hopefully, it has logged in right away for some reason, as you can see. Hopefully, you can see something here. It's kind of tricky to manipulate that because What I did also is I have mouse connected to the Mac36. There are two USB ports, which are ready, which allow you to, for example, connect your mouse or keyboard, which I just did. And I have possibility to manipulate this graphic using the mouse, as you can see. So these are the tabs, and I can switch between them. This is the second graphic, the third graphic. As you can see, the switching between them doesn't really delay anything. There is no much time between and transitions. So I think I would say it looks fine and works fine. Okay, so that's it about the HDMI panel. We have something more in store because we also have the second panel, which is a little bigger. You can take a look here. This is HMI panel, which is actually Android panel. It has Android system inside. Before I show you what I wanted to do, I need to do a little rewiring like this. Just a few seconds. Okay, so for this Android panel, what we actually provide as well, some added value for you, is the Isma Android application. So I will just share my screen once again, just to show you something. In our support Isma Controlli, you can find Android. You can find Isma Android application. So inside, you will find the installation files here, which you can download onto your PC, and you have all the documentation. So let's take a look into the manual, which will tell us about the configuration that you want to, that you need to make in order to make it happen. So we have like, first of all, we need to prepare our Android panel. There are just few steps. In the settings, we need to enable few developer options in order to be able to send the files from the PC. And then we just connect the USB cable. We connect the devices with the USB cable, so the Isma Android panel and your PC. And then we select the install bat file, which installs the file from PC to Isma Android panel. And basically that's it. And what it gives us is this. I will stop sharing and I will just switch to my second camera right now. So what it gives us, I need to, okay, the focus is, okay. So this is the application view. And here you can see there is an Isma Android application. This logo of Isma here. And here is a view of your application. So we can have a view of multiple applications, multiple stations, which you can manage in one place. You can have many stations under your supervision in this one application. It also provides auto login functionality, so it could be really useful for you. To add a station, you just click on this big plus sign, and then you just need to type in the details. For example, if we want to integrate the Mac, the name should be Mac, for example. Then the URL is IP address, which in my case is 192.168.1.151. Then I need to provide the credentials. So this is admin and the password. And hopefully, yeah, so you can see that there is a new block here with the Mac, and if you click on this, well, there is a connection, as you can see here. There's connection happening, and there is also authenticating. So it's providing an auto login functionality. And after a few seconds, we should be able to see what's actually inside. And that's it, yeah. We are inside. We can see that the homepage of our 2D station. This is a classic web view, so you can select any part and you will be hyperlinked to the specific part of the station. And you can see, oh yeah, it looks pretty okay for me. So yeah. So basically, that's it about the Isma HMI and Isma Hdmi, which also is, I think, the finish for our little training and our virtual training day. So I would like to thank you. It was my pleasure to provide this little training for you. I hope that you find some information useful, and you will find those information useful. And yeah, I give my voice to, I guess, Matthew or Adrian. Thank you very much. Pavel, we cannot hear you, at least I can.
Oh, sorry. I think, Tobiasz, that we can read all the questions that have been asked on the chat, in case that not everyone reads chat. So the first question was, can we use mini IO modules as BACnet MSTP to BACnet IP routing? So the answer is no. We have Modbus TCP IP to Modbus RTU gateway on it, but BACnet routing is not available on the mini and mix modules. Second question was for the Isma Modbus Tunnel, whether it is available for JACE, and the answer is yes. You can use Isma Modbus Tunnel for both MAC36NL and JACE 8000. This is available for Niagara controllers without any additional licensing, so it can be downloaded from our SAPL download center, and it's available right now. Okay. Another question we had was about the limitation of the display resolution on MAC36NL. So by default, this is limited to the HD graphics. So you cannot go with full HD on Mac because it takes too much resources of the processor. So we are using HD on Mac. And the second question was, can any typical HDMI screen can be used? And the answer is that yes, MAC36NL is HDMI 1.4 standard. So basically any external screen can be used. But what is great about our panels for MAC36NL is that you can actually connect the touch for the panel directly to the Mac with USB port. But you can also use any USB mouse or keyboard or Bluetooth dongle connect to the Mac, so it can be controlled also with a mouse. Another question is the coding environment for Isma controllers IO based on Niagara? And our controllers divides with Sedona, which is earlier version of Niagara, we can say. We have developed our own tool, Isma tool, for programming it. And MAC36NL and JACE are programmed through Niagara. And another question is, what are the limits on Niagara license? I guess, Nathan, you're asking about Mac. So you can go with up to 1,250 points on the Niagara licensing with MAC36NL, and you can upgrade it with 50 point packages up to 1,250 points packages. So it goes through 100 to 1,250. Another question is, can you please email this training record to us? Thanks, from Sam. So I think this is a question to Matthew. And
Yes, we will be providing a link for the training session after the event. Yes.
All right, cool. Thank you. And another question from Johnny: can you bulk firmware update controllers? So this can be done with Niagara provisioning on Mac. We are right now supporting Niagara 4.10 on Mac 36NL, and we are working on 4.11. So all the features of Niagara that are available on JS are also available on Mac 36NL controller as well. Another question from Adrian is: are the built-in graphics license locked to work only with Mac 36? Will work on JS to integrate with ISMA, FCU, or mixed controllers? So, Adrian, you can actually buy a license for another Niagara supervisory or JS, but it is only pre-licensed with Mac 36NL. So, if you buy Mac, it is already pre-licensed with it, but you can get a license for supervisor or JS as well.
And fine,
that
was last one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for all the questions. And yeah, we give the voice back to Matthew. Thank you.
Hang on, guys. So we've just gone through question time. What I did want to talk about is, as an attendee bonus for attending today, we do have a value code for our website. So if by the time you go through your cart, look at some items and get to the voucher stage, if you use the voucher ISMA, that will entitle you to 20% off ISMA products on the Control Store website. So that's just a little thank you for coming and joining us today. Hopefully you've found today's session extremely useful. Hopefully it's generated some new ideas on how you can approach some of your new upcoming projects, or even potentially look at changing some of your current projects you might be working on now. I do want to take a moment to sincerely thank the team from Isma Controlli for being here with us today. It is nearly midnight for the guys in Poland at the moment. Thank you, Adrian, Tobias, and Pavel, for your technical insight. It's always greatly appreciated. But thank you to everyone that's still with us. I'm hoping you found some points of value from each segment. If you do have any questions or queries about any of the product ranges we've discussed this morning, or even if you have a cruise through our website and some of the things that we haven't talked about today, there's multiple ways you can get in contact with us. Please feel free to bounce through an inquiry direct through our website using the Contact Us button, direct to our sales inbox, which is sales@controlstore.com.au. We all look at that one, so it does get monitored fairly regularly. Or direct to your account manager, who might have been the point of contact that invited you to today. If you can contact us through any of those methods, we'll be more than happy to talk about your applications. We'd alluded to this earlier. We are planning to run a similar seminar in the near future. We've looked at 3 of the controller platforms in the range today, being the I/O modules, the Mac 36s, and the HMI screens. But there are, as you saw on Adrian's slide, quite a few other product ranges that help us fill out a complete building using the Isma Controlli range. So we'd like to run a very similar session covering off some of those in the future. Again, I just want to thank you for taking time to be with us this morning. We do really value the fact that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to learn about the Isma Controlli product range available from Control Store with us today. Personally, if you do have any feedback on how our webinar's gone this morning, please feel free to contact me directly. I am very interested in your feedback. Any suggestions on how we can make these better? If you'd like to see more of this sort of content, whether that's through webinar or on our LinkedIn or website, I'd love to hear that feedback. Okay. Thanks again, everybody. And I'd love to...
Matthew, Matthew, may I say a word, please?
And Adrian, please chime in.
Yes, just want to say thank you so much for inviting us and for allowing us to say a technical word to our dear guests. And thank you all of you for your time, for attending the tech days, the training. So if you have any questions, please send them to Matthew or to us directly. So we will be more than happy to answer that. And I hope see you for the next training. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks very much, guys.